We continue with our Wahoo Week coverage here of your 2021 Cleveland Indians. Spring training underway in Goodyear, Arizona, and we're happy to have here on the Kenny and JT Show Adam Plutko, one of the Tribe's pitchers, getting ready for hopefully a big season here in 2021. Adam, how's camp going so far for you?
Camp's been good. We're really getting after it. I've been really excited to see how everybody's handling things, even with things not being exactly how it has been in the past. There's been no complaining. There's been get your work done and continue to get better. So it's been great.
What did you take away from the crazy year that was 60 games during a pandemic with no fans in the stands last year? How, even though that was crazy, how is that maybe going to help Adam Plutko this year?
Yeah, I think that was the first year that I've kind of really bounced back and forth between starting and relieving and did a little bit of everything. So as you can see with my history and experience, with experience, that I continue to get better. And I'd imagine I might do a little bit of both again this year, starting and relieving. So now that I have some more experience kind of on a moment's notice, either doing one or the other, I feel much more comfortable just living in that liquid space of moving back and forth.
All right, take us through the two different approaches, starter versus coming out of the bullpen. As you said, you had to do both last year. So how did you mentally prepare for each of those?
Get outs and throw strikes. I mean, it's pretty simple. You can make it a lot more complicated than that, but if you are moving around as much as I did, why make it more complicated than get out and throw strikes? That's pretty much what it's always going to come down to, whether you're Shane Bieber or whether you're James Karinchak. The job is the same, is to keep people off base and to keep people from touching home plate. So try and keep it as simple as I possibly can.
Do you change the approach from emptying the tank, knowing it's relief and it may only be 2 to 4 innings, versus saving something in case you're going 5 to 7 to 9 innings as a starter?
Yeah, I think the approach difference kind of comes, like you said, definitely emptying the tank and kind of going as hard as you can, and as a starter trying to get deep into a game. But as a reliever, you kind of have the luxury. If you're behind on the count, if you walk a guy, it's all right. It's not the end of the world. As a starter, you walk a guy, all of a sudden your pitch count starts to build up, and then that there's a rate of attrition there that starts to happen. So as a reliever, you're like, 2-1, okay, I don't have to give into this guy as much. I can still try and get him to chase something out of the zone, or not just lay a fastball in the zone that he'll hit. So I think that's kind of where for me is the biggest difference, is understanding as a reliever, if I walk a guy, it's not as big of a deal as if I'm a starter and I start working around a guy.
Indians pitcher Adam Plutko, our guest here on the Kenny and JT Show. What did you work on in the offseason, Adam? What did you learn about yourself last year? And you said, all right, I need to improve this, or I need to maybe just tweak this a little bit, make it better.
Yeah, again, I think I kept it pretty simple, always trying to chase more velocity and more consistency. I think those things kind of should always go hand in hand. If you're trying to achieve more velocity, you should obviously also try and achieve more consistency, because one without the others, not anything that's worth anything. So chased that a little bit, added my slider back in towards the back end of last year. So had an entire offseason to really work on being able to distinguish a cutter, a slider, and a curveball from one another. And so far in camp, it's been really good. And hitters I'm getting the response from hitters that it's tough to tell which one is which is exactly what I'm looking for.
Absolutely. If you can fool them, if they can't, know what's coming, right? We won't get into the Astros banging on the trash cans, but by seeing
the name of the game for sure. Yeah, that's the name of the game, is to keep them off balance.
Yeah, absolutely. What have they told you about your role for this year? Because, in talking with, who was it, Logan Allen the other day, and Phil Maton just a little bit ago, we looked back and it was Kluber, Bauer, Clev was there, Carrasco. Those guys are all gone now. So this pitching staff has been turned over, and there are a couple of spots that are up for grabs. So what have they told you about what they want you to do this year?
Yeah, I'm going to start out camp being a starter, and then we'll kind of reevaluate as we kind of get down that road a little bit and see whether it's going to be better for the team if I continue to start, or if it's better for me to move into the bullpen. Like I said, my job's been pretty fluid. before, and now that I have experience of having that fluidity of bouncing back and forth, you know, I'm fine with either. I just want to help the Cleveland Indians win. I want to win a World Series. I want to bring that back to Cleveland, and that's pretty much always been my goal.
We always hear the competition makes you better. Well, you've got a Cy Young Award winner there, right? Plesac with an earned run average just slightly above what Beebs had last year. So is there a competition amongst you guys? I know you're a close-knit group, the starters and everything, but is that there, you look at it, you see what he does one day, well, I've got to go out and do that the next day.
Absolutely. I think every great pitching staff, that's exactly how they're going to operate. And I think every great pitching staff keeps one another accountable as well, where you'll see, say your sliders off that a little bit that day. Generally, you don't even get to the pitching coach before you have another starter coming up to you saying, hey, you're doing this, that, and the other. You need to fix and clean it up. So it's competitive and wanting to outdo one another, but it's also keeping each other accountable and keeping each other as best as we possibly can, because what's the point of beating somebody while they're down? We're all trying to lift each other up. We're all trying to continue to be the best version of ourselves. And if we all do that, then shoot, you're going to have a pretty good year.
The mindset of this team, even with all the new faces, position players as well as pitchers, playoffs, win a World Series, you guys think you can still accomplish that?
Of course. I mean, I think we're not getting enough credit, to be honest with you. Our hitters are showing us really good things right now in live batting practice. And, I really think that this team's going to surprise a lot of people. You're going to look up in June and July and be like, wait, where did this team come from? We didn't see that happening with the computer that spit out numbers that said
right.
We're only supposed to be this good. I truly think, I really think this year getting a guy like Eddie Rosario and a few of these other guys that we got in the trades and whatnot, it's really going to be a great team first approach, and you're going to see us competing to win every single night.
All right. I'm asking this of everybody because I want our listeners, in case they're not familiar with you, although you've been with the Indians a little bit more than some of these other guys, scouting report on yourself, Adam Plutko. If you're writing down a scouting report, you're in the stands, you're watching you pitch, what's that scouting report going to say?
It's going to say, fastball, 90, 94, throws a lot of strikes. He's got a cutter, a slider, and a curveball that I referenced, and a changeup when he needs to. He throws fastball up in the zone primarily. It really works for him. But most of the time, it's going to be, that golfer that you see that can hit a draw, can hit a fade, can hit it straight, can hit it short, can hit it long. That's kind of my thing. I don't throw 100. I'm not just going to power through a game. I'm going to kind of finesse and work shots and work pitches around. So that's what I'd say.
All right. And I like to always look into the bios the Indians give us and see some of the favorites and things like that. And I see favorite TV show, Game of Thrones. So who was the most badass character on Game of Thrones in Adam Plutko's mind?
I mean, Daenerys Targaryen. It's hard to say anybody's lesser than her. Wish we could have ended with Jon Snow and her taking over the world, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, that's who I'd say, Daenerys Targaryen.
Were you disappointed with the finale? I was. I thought it kind of was rushed, and I don't know, didn't meet the climax I was expecting for it. Were you or no? Were you okay with it?
It had a little Sopranos feel where you weren't sure which way it was going to go, and then it's just a black screen, and so it had a little bit of that feel, which always keeps fans like wanting more, I feel like, and then you're going to rewatch the things because you like these seasons better than those ones. So if you have too good of a finale, nobody's going to watch it again because then it just cuts off the show and everybody's happy. So I feel like you got to always keep people guessing at the end. Hearing
maybe a prequel, is that something you'd be interested in seeing? The
prequel?
Give
me more. Give me more. Give me more.
There's not enough of it, right? Hey, Adam, we appreciate the time. Wish you nothing but good health and success this season for the Tribe, and hopefully we'll talk to you down at Progressive Field.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Adam Plutko checking in with us here on the Kenny and JT Show. We'll get a break in right now. We'll come back with more. Stay with us. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate that.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Be well.